It's okay, we've been here before. Carry on the light, they won't know it hurts more. We can pull apart time, this will last forever. You should learn to be kind, it always ends in fire. It's okay, we've been here before. Carry on the light, they won't know it hurts more. It's okay, we've been here before. Carry on the light, they won't know it hurts more.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the HP Podcast, episode number 362. I'm Ben, and with me here today are the beautiful boys. Brandon, I'm going to start with you, because when I say beautiful boys, I mean it always, but tonight your hair is looking exceptional, I believe.
Thank you.
I'd just
Thank
like to open up the conversation with you.
Appreciate it. Yeah, I didn't get a haircut today, but I did go to the barber.
Yeah?
He trimmed up my beard, so maybe that's the aura that's emanating. I also put up the new Streamlight setup,
Oh, nice, yeah.
so it's a little bit more vibey in my
So-
stream setup now.
What kind of lights did you get?
LifeX.
Okay.
Yeah. And I fucked with the saturation and brightness and contrast of my camera a little bit because it was way off in gray. So
Nice.
maybe that's why, man, dude. I'm just you know when someone gets pregnant, they have like the glow.
Yeah, yeah.
That would be what's happening to me right now.
You think that's what it is? Yeah.
Yeah. So
All right. Well, I wanted to say it was just the Conan O'Brien hair, but all the other things you just mentioned are possibilities as well.
likely even, I would say.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm doing good today, boys.
Did you
Real good.
did you have those lights from before, or are those a new?
I got them at Christmas time, and I've kept them in my living room.
Yeah.
And I like what I do with them in my living room, and so I'll probably move them back and forth and just get another set for in here.
Yeah, that's cool. I had some of those at one point, just like the bulbs. I'd assume that's what that is, maybe not, but just the
Yeah.
bulbs that were like overhead, and they just weren't doing the trick because the room, like the color of the room, wasn't right for it. But I have some bulbs in now that I don't use anymore, but they do a decent job. But they're still not. They're not as vibrant as those are. So I have to check them out.
Yeah, dude, I fuck with it. They're really, really nice and super, super bright. In fact, I have it way turned down because I
Yeah.
had it on full and it just was too much. So
My problem is no matter what color it was, the higher up I would turn them, not Lifex, a different brand. No matter how high up I would turn them, it would always just look like it was white on the wall. Even if you look at the bulb and it's like neon green, the wall looked white. It was
right.
weird.
Yeah, that's exactly what happens with mine. It's like super duper turned down though. But
Yeah. Nice.
yeah, man. Yeah, they're nice. I got two of them, and so I have like a little aesthetic going on in my living room that I really, really rather enjoy. So
Nice. Dave, why doesn't your room look as nice as Brandon's? Please explain.
Brandon's lights plus his hair is giving me Amaranth vibes in like every
Oh.
possible way.
Every?
So, yeah. I'm just taking some screenshots as we're sitting here for after the show.
Just for later. Yeah.
Yeah.
How you doing, man?
Some beat
Laminate
material.
them and put them in the shower, you know?
Yeah.
make sure you
Um,
laminate them. It gets all crinkled and crunchy if you let it.
I'm good. It's a cold, snowy, depressing January day. Seasonal was the seasonal affective disorder SAD? Was the
Correct.
acronym?
Correct. Yes.
Yeah.
It's real, man.
Aptly
real.
named. Yeah, aptly
know.
named.
We get this weather in December and it's cute and endearing, but fuck, I'm feeling it. And I look at the date and I'm like, we still have another 10 days of this shit. Not that anything changes in February, but there's a different feeling with February than there is with January. And it's work, it's life, it's everything, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, I need some sunshine. I need some of this. This is what I need in my life right now is
The boys.
the vitamin D that I get from you guys, you know?
Yeah.
Dave, I have a proposition for you.
Okay.
Actually, a couple, but I'll just tell you this one on the show. You can buy bulbs that replicate the sun's rays and just sit in front of it.
Right. I've heard of that. Have you used them? Have you tried?
No, but I know of them.
Okay.
Um,
Right.
The season has no bearing on my crippling depression. It's just like pretty much a steady, stagnant line all year round. So I don't think it can dip much lower. But if I thought it would do anything for me at all, I might consider it. But yeah, a lot of people use it at their desks. They're
Yeah.
sitting at the desk, sitting there anyway. Just get a nice little bulb. You're like a little plant, man, absorbing the light.
Yeah, we got pores. Why not?
The problem for me is that I'm pretty much always in the same environment if I'm inside my house. Like I always have this window closed in my office. I always have the lights off. Maybe this is part of my problem. I don't know. But like the inside environment for me is always the same. So like having a light probably wouldn't do much to change my normal work environment. It's when I go outside in the winter that I'm depressed or look outside. So like I think if I just avoid that for the most part, I'm a little better, but there's still the time you have like if you ever think about I have to go somewhere and you know that it's cold and snowy outside, that's when it really hits me.
There is one good thing about this time of year, though, is as I said to my wife when I got home, it's a bad day to be a bowl of chili, and I've had 2 encounters with chili over the past week, and there's just certain times of the years where certain foods work well, and January for pho or chili is perfect, you know.
I
And
think
we
we've
just
had
saw-
this discussion before, and
We just, I'm sure we have. It's been over 300 episodes, Ben. We just so happened had a friend who dropped off some chili that they made for us, some turkey chili for dinner. And yeah, it was perfect.
nice. Are you I can only eat chili in the winter kind of guy?
Yes, 100%.
Wow.
Yeah.
You more of a gazpacho guy in the summer.
No, cold soup? No, I can't do it. Can't do it.
I am very much like if it's good, I'll eat it anytime. Like people who are like, I can't eat ice cream in the winter. I can't drink coffee in the summer. I can't eat soup in the summer, like that kind of thing. I'm like, yeah, I've never understood it. I do actually understand it, but I don't live that way.
Speaking of cold soup, it just kind of reminded me. Y'all ever open a can of like Chef Boyardee and not microwave it at all? You just eat it straight out the can.
Yeah.
No,
Why?
I have.
because I'm normal.
Because you're not a man. That's why. You're not
Beans, like baked beans.
dude. I do that all the time.
To be clear, though, to be like very fair about this, I can't remember the last time I ever had like a can of Chef Boyardee or
He's-
other something like that.
That's your fucking problem.
Well, I mean, I've had the things inside of it, just not prepared by the chef.
Well,
I woke up yesterday to -6 and no heat, so that was fun.
put some respect on the chef's name. I'm not going to let you get away from this like this.
I'm not disparaging it. I'm saying I can't remember the last time I had it, so therefore I don't think I've had it cold in a very if I've ever had it cold in a very long time.
Just to clarify, Brandon, you prefer it warm, right? Or is there a mood for you?
I mean, like, honestly, if I'm going to eat something that's that low of quality, why the fuck would I waste time trying to heat it up?
Damn.
I don't even need a bowl. You just cut off the lid of the can and take a fork and eat it out of it, dude. That's all you have to do. This
shoot
is
a hole in
purely
it.
about keeping the body going. And honestly, I think the chef would respect that.
Right.
Well, I mean, why even bother, heating up ramen noodles? Just eat them crunchy out of the pack.
Because that's
I have
not
done
the
that.
same. They're not ready made.
But I have done that before.
I
Well,
did that in
that-
elementary school, and I'm pretty sure the school called my mom.
That's fucking disgusting. But my thing is completely reasonable and good and healthy. That's what the doctor said.
Yeah, that's fair. I understand, even if I disagree. I'm sitting here playing with a knife, like a what is this? What
Switchblade.
are they called? Switchblade. It's not really a switchblade. It's a 3D printed switchblade, which is really good for not cutting off your fingers. But it's just like a little.
Just gonna say, if the show is interrupted by the telltale sound of shit.
Jesus Christ, David. David, you made it happen.
Yeah, I
In
was
real
gonna
time.
say, if the show is interrupted by the telltale sign of arterial bleeding, then we know where it's coming from. I just broke a shelf, by the way. But
Oh, good. Was it IKEA?
No, but all that fell off was my Series S. So
Oh,
who
then
cares
honestly,
then?
you're better off. It's probably more expensive. The shelf's probably more expensive than the fucking get more use out of the shelf.
I've been
but-
thinking of what to do with this thing because, like, I went on Reddit and I'm like, what? Like, there's got to be people in my position who just like got this thing, used it maybe for a year, and it's just sitting there now. And I didn't get a whole lot of good ideas apart from using it as like a media server in a different
Yeah.
room or something like that. But yeah, I don't know.
Honestly, Dave, see that big black circle on it? That's like the perfect spot to put a cup. It's like so your table doesn't get sweat on it. Just
You know what? I still find this to be a very aesthetically pleasing piece of hardware. It's just so simple and the white. But like the last straw for me was Avowed, where I played that game. I loved it, but I'm like, this just doesn't hold up on the Series S. Like I know it's going to come to PlayStation at some point, so I just can't play it here. And that's the last time I think I played my Series S.
wow.
You could trade that in for like a dime and put that dime towards the purchase of a Series X, but then you'd have a Series X and still have the same problem. So
You know what the problem is, though? See, I'm going to whisper this part.
it was a gift.
from my
Yeah.
wife. So,
Yeah.
can't do that.
I'm gonna be real with you, Dave. At one point, you were talking about what console you were gonna get. This was 5 years ago now, somehow, and you said something like, "Oh, I'm hoping to get an Xbox for Christmas," and then you told us you got a Series S, and I was like, "Uh oh, either Dave lost his mind or somebody messed up."
No, but you'll recall I also said that I wanted to invest in a PS5. That was going to
Yeah.
be my main. And if there was that midpoint sort of
Right? You did say that.
thing for the Series X, then, that would be the physical one I went to. But we never got that. So
Right? Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
That's it.
Dave, you could be like me and have a Series X and not use it.
Well, he did.
that's true.
He
Which one's worse? I don't know.
But you have a limited edition that's probably going to it's already appreciated in value, right? We
It
talked about
has
that a little while
actually,
ago.
yeah. It actually has. Even a year or two afterwards, it was going up.
Right.
And it's going to continue. Even though it's a bad Halo, the fact that it's Halo at all means that people will want it. So
Yeah, that's true. And once they no longer make physical Xboxes, that'll be even more desirable, I would imagine. I don't know if that's true or not, but that seems to be the way they're going.
Paperweight's my vote, Dave.
Dave, how
Redfall-
often do you boot up a console? Period. Like, how often do you boot up your PlayStation? Daily?
Almost daily.
Yeah.
I just realized. I'm sorry. Sorry. I haven't looked at this thing this close, but on the back it says Xbox and then it says "Hello from Seattle."
Yeah.
I never noticed that before. Yeah, I boot
They've
up,
always put stuff like that on their hardware.
under normal circumstances. I boot up daily. I
Yeah.
think.
Nice. I have been really lacking on my consoles lately in general, like for a long time actually. Was playing a lot on PC, so which is fine with me. I'm happy to have them and be in a position where I can have them if I desire to play on them. I think Ghost of Yote was the last thing I played on my PlayStation, but I just don't feel the need as much anymore as I used to. And I also like a lot of people I know like to sit on the couch. They can't sit at their desk all day. Like I sit here I work here all day. I go hang out with the family for a little bit. I come back and play games after they all go to bed. So like this chair is really comfortable is what I'm saying. Herman Miller, very expensive, but worth its weight in gold.
You spend that much time in it, it's
Yeah.
a worthy investment, I think.
Well, not only do I spend that time in it, it makes me want to sit in it. Like it's not like I'm like, oh, I don't want to go to my desk. It's like this might be one of the most comfortable chairs in my entire house.
Right.
So it's worthwhile. Anyway, I have heat back now, so it's all good.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
You guys want to talk about some video games?
Yes.
Before we
should
do
talk about
that,
the Patreon first because I need a new desk.
well, I was just saying before we do that, let's talk about Patreon. If you go over to patreon.com/handsomephantom, you can sign up for as little as $1 a month to help support the boys. We appreciate the support you all give over there. Dave will not be receiving a new desk from the Patreon unless it really explodes, because as of right now, I think it just barely covers our website hosting fees and everything for the year. But maybe they could change in the future with your help. But honestly, we just appreciate you being here. We appreciate you listening, watching, whatever it is you're doing, whether it's live or later. We know there's a lot of you we don't hear from. There's a lot of you we do hear from. And a lot of you are over in our Discord at handsomephantom.com/Discord. You can sign up there and be there for free, as opposed to the Patreon, where it's $1 a month. I mean, I haven't made this breakdown in a while, but it's literally a quarter a month. If you're like listening to the show every week or not a quarter a month, a quarter a week, a quarter an episode, guys. If an hour and a half of entertainment of your time is not worth a quarter to you, I was going to say don't even bother listening anymore, but I do want you to listen. We do like having you around. But, come on, think about it. What are you doing with your lives? I don't really, I have a lot of other things I was going to say, but none of them really seemed appropriate. So I'm just going to skip them. And we'll talk about the news, the video game news this week. This is from the PlayStation blog. Marathon releases March 5th, and a new limited edition DualSense controller has been revealed. Quote, what happened to humanity's lost interstellar expedition, and why are the UESC trying to keep runners out? You can start unraveling the mysteries when Marathon releases on March 5th. Marathon is the upcoming PvPvE survival extraction FPS from the creators of Halo and Destiny. Play as a bio-cybernetic runner and team up in crews of 3 or run solo as you take on hostile security forces, rival runners, and unpredictable environments. Scavenge derelict facilities and rugged landscapes for valuables, weapons, and information about what happened to the lost colony light years from Earth, etc., etc. The game's coming out on March 5th. That's the headline here. This date, it kind of got leaked. The trailer kind of got leaked, I think, but only like a day or two before they revealed it anyway. There is a new DualSense controller. By the way, I 3D printed a bunch of stands to go on the wall of my office. I have like a pegboard wall all around. It's painted black back there, so you can't really tell, but that's all like a pegboard shelving and stuff. I have like 5 controllers on it now. I've got a bunch more controllers that I just have for some reason that I'm going to print out more of them. It's
If the audience can't tell, Ben is really enjoying his new 3D printer. So
it's not a new 3D. I've had the 3D printer for like 4 years. I've just been using it more lately.
Good.
But it's just so nice to have like something organized instead of just sprawling on my desk. That does make my desk more enjoyable. I just had like multiple controllers across my desk and they'd like fall off or get in the way. I was like, I need to do something with these. What can I buy? And I was like, oh, that's $60. I could just print one. Why bother to get X console when you can just emulate everything on a Raspberry Pi for free, right? Well, why would I buy a shelf? Boys Marathon. Are we excited? Brandon, you look skeptical.
I think I'm excited. Yeah. Some of the stuff that we've seen since the delay, I feel like has been good. We talked a couple weeks ago about how I think Marathon will do better because Arc Raiders has brought more people to the space. I think the impeccable art design and tenure of the studio who is making this game will make it a quality game no matter what. Will it have legs? I mean, that might be something different altogether. But yeah, I'm really interested. No one can deny that Destiny is one of the best feeling shooters out there, period. They have the talent to make these games. So to shift from something, and they even had Iron Banner, so they have a plethora of multiplayer knowledge as well. But so to shift this game into a different genre, a subgenre space, I feel like would not be difficult for them to use a lot of the tools that they honed over the past 10 to 15 almost years of Destiny. So yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be great. I have said from the beginning, I love the way this game looks, albeit, maybe they copied the swag of some people. Don't really like that. Don't really want to speak on that very much other than it's not cool. But the game looks awesome. It does. And it's going to play well, and I feel like that's the most important part of a shooter. What will make or break this game is continued support and how much content and replayability they offer to the people spending the $40 price tag. I do want to mention that the $40 price tag is a good idea. Once again, I feel like they kind of borrowed from the book of Helldivers and Arc Raiders, and I feel like they should continue to do that. People that have had success with things similar in the past, they should learn from that. And I think that's kind of what that was directly. So, yeah, I think the price tag's in the right spot. I think that we have a studio that has something to prove almost at this point with something new. I think that it'll be good for some of those people to kind of put Destiny behind them, even though it was very successful for them. But yeah, I'm very much looking forward to this. Whether or not it will actually pry me away from Arc Raiders for more than a night or two, that's to be seen. But the first-person aspect will be something different that will be good for me specifically, who I am as a shooter fan. So yeah, I'm definitely excited.
Davey.
Yeah, we talked about this a little while ago where when Marathon came out with its closed playtest beta, whatever it was in the summer, that I think started out well but ended very poorly. I think at that time, Arc Raiders was like, we did not know the insanity that was going to come with Arc Raiders. And we talked about in the fall how nervous Bungie must be trying to get Marathon out there, considering how much bad publicity they had coming out of the playtest, and then also having Arc Raiders on top of that. But I think I have to echo what you said, Brandon, that I think Arc Raiders has actually done them a favor because it's really propelled this subgenre of extraction shooter into the mainstream. And the days of Tarkov, like, it was really so niche, but now it's like so many people have picked up on this style of gameplay, and I think there's just that many more people that are curious for this type of thing. And you throw in the Bungie first person shooter pedigree, and it's and then that art style, and it's like this has some strong potential here. I don't know if it's going to knock off Arc Raiders. That seems to be poised to be strong for a long time, but there's going to be a lot of people coming over from not just Arc Raiders, but Battlefield and Call of Duty, and even some cross pollination with Destiny. I look at the timing of this. So, those three titles I just mentioned all came out in the fall, in the holiday season. And, in and around March is when people are going to look, they might like those games still, but they're looking for a bit of a fresh experience. So, timing wise, I think it's good. It's given them enough time to meaningfully action some of the feedback that they got from the playtest in the late summer, but also maybe incorporate some of the things that are doing so well for Arc Raiders into Marathon, because I think there's a lot they can learn from that. So I think when all is said and done, Marathon is actually going to benefit from the success of Arc Raiders. And you just basically said all that, Brandon, so I'm just agreeing with everything you said. There is one thing that you mentioned that I do need to touch on, which is the price. So I agree. I think we'll call it the Helldiver strategy. The $40, get people in at a lower barrier to entry, make a really great product, and then just keep them there, in-game revenue, all that kind of stuff. And the reason I want to bring that up is because I do need to correct myself, because when Concord came out, I felt that its pricing strategy was a mistake. But now that we've seen a couple of really good examples where this $40 price tag actually works really well, I think I don't think that's what was wrong with Concord. There's a lot of things wrong with it, but I think this $40 entry point is a really good strategy, and I hope more games in this games as a service genre incorporate that. Don't go full price, don't go free to play, but give me something robust right out the gate. I'll pay that sort of lower barrier of entry, and I think you can be successful that way. So I'll eat crow a little bit there, but yeah, I'm excited to try Marathon because I think it's positioned to be really good, but we'll see. Also, sorry, the controller looks fantastic, by the way.
It does.
Yeah,
it's cool. Yeah,
Dave, what is it why did you think the $40 price point was a mistake? Did you think it should be higher, lower?
So when Concord came out, my theory was one of the reasons it failed was that sort of middle of the road price point.
Mm-hmm.
Was it scared some people off because it was too much money, and it also kind of devalued the experience because it wasn't a full price game. And I know that seems really weird, but to me, when you kind of discount something right out the gate, it could suggest that you're putting out something that's half baked.
Mm-hmm.
And that was just something I kind of theorized that may have played into why Concord didn't do well out the gate. But again, now that we've seen Arc Raiders do really well at this price point, Helldivers 2 do really well, I think it's going to position Marathon well. I'm just kind of revising what I said about Concord there. So
yeah,
that's what I meant.
Yeah, I mean, it may have had some impact on Concord, but I think just the hype around that game in general was non-existent, so that probably didn't help. I think the $40 price point is really nice because one, you want to make some money from your game, right? So you don't want to necessarily put it out free to play if you're not sure it's going to be lasting. It also does make people engage because they're like, oh, I paid $40 for this, I should play it more, if they're not like compelled to play it otherwise. And it doesn't eliminate, it doesn't even mitigate, but it does somewhat reduce the amount of cheaters who couldn't get into it. Because all you need otherwise, if with a free-to-play game, all you need is a brand new account, like a Steam account, and a free-to-play game you can just keep pumping into. It's at least a little bit more of a hassle if you have to pay for the game. Still doesn't eliminate them, but it helps. But yeah, I think it's I like games knowing like, hey, you know what? We are probably going to ask you for more money at some point. So we're going to charge you less at the beginning. And I totally respect that. And those kind of monetization models, unless they're blocking some sort of like Apex Legends, yeah, it's free to play, but I don't love the fact that to unlock all of the different legends, you have to pay, like essentially spend, not all of them, but essentially spend premium currency. I don't love that. That's a core part of the gameplay that you're putting behind the paywall. Even if it is free to play, just let me pay for the game and I'm happy. I still think Apex is I haven't played it in years, but it was a great game. I really had a lot of fun. Brandon and I played hundreds of hours of that together at 4 a.m. But I do think that it's a smart move, like you said. Now, here's what I want to know. What's up with all these extraction shooters? We've got so many extraction shooters in the scheme of all extraction shooters, the majority of them have been 3-person squads. Why? Brandon, why are they trying to make us eliminate one of our friends?
Easier to balance.
You think so?
Yeah. There's probably some sort of metric or sweet spot
Yeah.
where like anytime you get over 3, it's probably significantly harder to factor in things. Like I'm sure as you add more players, I'm sure 1 is the easiest. There's only one factor. 2 gets hard.
Yeah.
I'm sure they only want to pump so much into that, and I'm sure they could, but trying to balance things with more than 3, I'm sure is very, very difficult.
Dave, we had some like Warzone. When Warzone came out, you could play solos or you could play quads. I don't think you could play trios, or maybe not even duos. Maybe you could play duos. I can't remember for sure. It just seems like a weird number to me. And it's most of the time it's fine, but sometimes you've got 3 other buddies who want to play at the same time, and you can't make 2 full squads out of it, and you also can't make 1 squad out of it.
Yeah.
So kind of sucks, Dave.
Maybe if the strategy is to, if you see in the first 6 months that you've maintained enough of a server population, then you could introduce quads. But I agree with Brandon. There probably is some sort of sunshine zone there where it's like 1, 2, or 3 players, but nothing more.
It's also like dynamic wise, I feel like in these sort of games, like 1 extra person, 2 is just you're watching each other's back. 4 almost seems like you're coming up on like numbers that make it seem like less of a tight knit experience. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Something I do want to touch on, I want to sidestep this conversation just a bit, but it's still about Marathon, is I do want to be cautious about how Bungie approaches content in Marathon moving forward, because for me, as someone who has casually or non-casually played Bungie games like Destiny and Destiny 2 for years, I feel like they don't do the best job of putting content out and keeping the people that don't buy it as engaged. I feel like Destiny keeps putting stuff out and I can never catch up, and I'm not going to keep paying the premium to catch up. I'm very cautious and very hesitant for that reason specifically with these games, and Bungie specifically, because they have shown that you almost need to, at least I felt like I needed to buy every expansion to continue to be caught up in Destiny. And I really hope that we don't get to a point, because Destiny was a full price game and they still were doing that.
Yeah.
This is a cheaper game. And so, who knows down the line whether or not you're going to be locked out of map experiences, you're going to be locked out of certain weapons or certain game modes. And, if they're smart, they wouldn't do that sort of thing. But I know how they've handled these sort of things in a different genre of multiplayer, and that kind of worries me a little bit. I hope they continue to support the people that aren't necessarily buying any sort of paid content, because I feel like in a lot of ways they were really bad at that in Destiny.
Yeah, I think you're right. Even when they went free to play, there's a lot of content you're just locked out from, period. Everybody, not just people who pay for it, but you're right, the expansions and everything. I feel like this is not the type of game you can do that in. I mean, they can prove me wrong, obviously.
You'd think,
but
and that's what I'm saying I'm worried about.
Right. I'm very much okay with them anybody monetizing stuff through purely cosmetic stuff if it doesn't give a strategic advantage or change the content or whatever. But yeah, when it comes to Destiny, just like, it's just so weird how Destiny did it for all those years, where it was like, well, you can play this campaign and that campaign and this campaign, but unless you pay $40, you can't play the one in the middle. And I get it; they're a business, they're making money, people were paying it. Okay, but I don't like that model as a consumer.
Yeah, but they even showed that they were willing to do that sort of thing with like the hunt, what are they called in Destiny? the people you can beat in multiplayer, like you were locked out of certain powers. Like let's say there was an overpowered new system coming out in
Yeah.
multiplayer, like a new ultimate, a new super, whatever the fuck they're called in Destiny, I can't remember.
Yeah.
If you didn't buy that content and that was really overpowered, which I saw people complaining about when things got changed, and things get nerfed eventually, sure that happens, but it's like creating a rift in your multiplayer community, and I've seen that happen live in Destiny games. And
Right.
that just concerns me moving forward if we're going to have some sort of class-based system where certain characters only have certain things that if they try to monetize off of that specifically, then you are going to put a divisible barrier between some of your players, and I really hope they don't go down that road because they have before.
Yeah, I feel like they must have learned by this point, especially for a game in this genre, that you have to keep it cosmetic. Like everything else has to be part of the package. And, even if it is just cosmetic, we've seen several examples where that is more than lucrative for the people making the game.
Right.
So, yeah. And I even think back to like the Battlefield Call of Duty days with map packs where, you can make a lot of money on map packs, but you could also segment your population in a pretty negative way. So
Right.
I really hope that they've evolved, but
And that was the worst in old Call of Duty, like on the 360, when you'd get into a lobby and you'd wait for the whole loading screen, and then it would kick you out and be like, someone in your party doesn't have all the map packs.
right.
Yeah. that was the
Okay,
fucking
you could have
worst.
done that matchmaking before now, but
Or just take it out.
yeah, which
if
they have
everybody
now.
doesn't have it. But yeah,
Oh, yeah,
I just
that's
want to
it.
reiterate they did that sort of stuff for close to a decade.
Yeah.
And so that concerns me a little bit,
Yeah.
but we'll see.
Well, March 5th, we'll at least get the beginning of this journey, and we'll see how it goes. I think it will have a long tail because it's Bungie and because it's PlayStation. I think it will stick around for a while. How long, how many people, all that kind of stuff, we'll see. Another thing just occurred to me. I wonder if 3-player teams, you're able to fill more servers than you can with 4 because maybe there's a fear of less people playing, so you have sometimes longer matchmaking. I don't know.
Possibly.
Pure speculation on my end. Pure speculation. Speaking of one of Brandon's favorite things, I don't know when we were, but Nintendo Switch 2 has sold 3.7 million units in Japan in 2025, accounting for over half of home console sales. This comes from GamesIndustry.biz. It says the Nintendo Switch 2 continues to be the fastest selling console in Japan's history, moving 3.78 million units in 2025. That's according to data collected by Famitsu, formerly or via VGC, which found that the Switch 2 accounted for over half of all home consoles sold in the country in the last year. The original Switch came in second with 1.52 million units sold, followed by PlayStation 5 with 879,000 and some change. Xbox Series X and S, this is combined, 31,000, and PlayStation 4, 1,800. PS5 sales were down 60% in 2025, despite the launch of a cheaper Japanese-only version of the console. The Switch 2 reached almost 1 million units sold across Japan within the first week of release, making it the country's biggest console launch to date. Boys, the Nintendo Switch 1, 2, whatever, is bigger than ever before. I mean, we knew the first Switch was huge, but then we thought maybe the Switch 2 will be a little less of a bang because of the pricing. Doesn't appear to be that way so far. They're on track to do all the same numbers. And especially in Japan, where they love things made in Japan. In America, we like to say made in America, and to some extent there's some value there, but nobody's like, hey, I want to buy this thing because it's made in America and I love it. I shouldn't say nobody. There are people like that. But like, we don't care where the PlayStation's made. Like, that's not going to make me buy it more if it was made down the street or in Taiwan. We don't have that kind of cultural stuff here as much, in my neck of the woods, at least. Dave, what do you think about the success of the Switch 2, especially in Japan?
So when the Switch 2 was announced, particularly its price point, the big story was how expensive it was. And I think the industry was kind of curious to see how the market was going to tolerate this price point when everybody's broke. And I think for a lot of people, this is kind of a second console. It's, a little bit underpowered. It's mobile or portable focused, and its meaningful software is primarily first party stuff. Now that's changed a little bit with the Switch 2 because we're seeing it can run things like Cyberpunk and stuff, but you're really buying this game for the first party stuff. I think 6 months of sales data from Japan really tells us nothing, because this is the Nintendo Switch. It's going to sell really well in Japan. Like, that's just a foregone conclusion. I'd really be curious to see how this does in a full year of sales in North America. So I'm kind of curious to see where this ends up at the end of next year in North America. I don't know what we're gonna get next year. I assume we might get a Mario or something like that. Like, there's got to be one heavy hitter from Nintendo next year that's gonna kind of move the needle. But it's still gonna be interesting to see how this is received, because I mean, this is still a premium price console. The big selling point with the Switch 1 was that it was very affordable even at launch, but that's not the case necessarily with the Switch 2 coming in at almost $500 and closer to 7 here in Canada. So yeah, I mean, it's no surprise that this is doing well in Japan. But I mean, it really does kind of set the precedence for what the next generation of consoles is going to be, not from a technical standpoint, but from a pricing standpoint. I think the next shoe to fall in that category, obviously, is going to be the Steam Machine, which, just looking at RAM prices alone, like, that thing has to be $1,000, right?
Well, unless they
Canadian.
ordered the RAM ahead of time, but
Exactly. Yeah. And then where does that put, the next generation PS6 and Xbox whatever? But yeah, I'm happy that the Switch is doing well in Japan. I think it had a really, really good first year from a software perspective when you think of Mario Kart and Donkey Kong and Metroid Prime, even though Metroid Prime came out on the original Switch. But like, even Donkey Kong alone makes me want to go out and get one. And I'm kind of curious, like, when I pulled this article, Ben, I'm like, you having had your Switch 2 6 months in, I know you've been kind of playing other stuff. Arc Raiders came out. Do you still feel like you're gonna get bang for your buck, or you got bang for your buck, given that you paid that premium price for it?
I mean, bang for your buck is defined in different ways for different people. For me, the bang for my buck is that I had a Nintendo Switch 2 and I could play on it if I wanted to. So again, I'm in a fortunate position. Most of us who are enthusiasts are in that fortunate position to be able to do that if we want to. It is also like, I do use it for work very occasionally. So like, I'm getting bang for my buck because I have it, and that's what I wanted out of it. It was to have it, which sounds really like rich boy, which I am not. With that said, like, yeah, I haven't played it as much as I played the Switch 1 for sure, but I also didn't have a nice PC when I had the Switch 1. So like, priorities have just shifted for me. And I looked at my Nintendo recap whenever they put it out, and I was like, oh, I played more on that than I thought I did. So I think so. But again, it doesn't break down to a hours played per dollar spent for me on it. The PlayStation 5, I've probably played way less hours on it than I played on the PlayStation 4. Again, the timing of me getting gradually nicer PCs was also in there. But I do feel like I got my bang for my buck on my PlayStation because I have a PlayStation 5, and there are games I played on it that I could not have played without one. So like, that's the value for me. It's not necessarily did you play it enough to justify the value, which is not a position everybody's in. I understand that, but it's the position I'm in. Dave, I want to challenge something you said, though. You said about like 6 months in Japan doesn't really tell us. It does say here, and maybe I misunderstood what you were saying, sales of the console reached the highest global figure of any Nintendo platform in the first 4 months of launch. 10.36 million units in the first 4 months globally, which is better than any other platform. Does that change your thought process at all?
No. I still think we need a full year global, and without kind of what felt like a front-loaded software lineup, to see if that that price point is tolerable for that kind of console.
Yeah.
You're always going to have lots of early adopters. And as I said, I think their launch software strategy was really, really strong. But what's going to come in year two? So yeah, still hold my opinion there. I still think it's going to do well. But yeah.
Yeah, it really wouldn't surprise me if it doesn't sell as much as the Switch one. It also wouldn't surprise me if like the Switch one has never had a permanent MSRP price drop, but it's entirely possible that the Switch 2 could if they start seeing declining sales. Now, with that said, everything's just getting more expensive, so it may not even be feasible to do that. It might already be, I don't know, maybe they're already hurting from some of the increases in pricing. But most of these companies, and this is kind of what I alluded to with Valve, although I don't know that they did, but most of these companies, before they ever even announce the console, have like pre-bought their initial batch of, or like, put a reservation in with the factory that makes the RAM to say, we want this many at this price on this date. And that's how they're able to like target those prices even before full production begins, even if they don't announce it until later. I missed something earlier. I saw it and forgot to mention it. Derek O, when we were talking about pre-ordering or about Marathon, said, did you see the glitch where pre-ordering Marathon on Steam started downloading Destiny 2 automatically? I did see that earlier today.
That's presumptuous.
Yeah.
Glitch, yeah, in quotes.
I don't know. I would imagine like I know a little bit about backend setup in Steam. I don't really know exactly how this would work, but my guess is they're going to have a bundle that will include Destiny 2 and some sort of paid content, whether it's cosmetic or DLC or whatever. And they're going to have that bundle. And so when people pre-order that, they got access to that bundle, and that's why it started automatically downloading it as well. But that's just a guess. But it is really funny. They're like, please, we got to milk it a little bit more. Just a little bit. Anything else to say on Nintendo?
The Switch 2 is mid.
PlayStation Store's top downloads of 2025. Here's the chart toppers for the entire year. PS5 games in US and Canada. We don't really care about the EU anyway, right? So let's just talk about US and Canada. In order, NBA 2K26, Battlefield 6, Grand Theft Auto 5, EA Sports College Football 26, EA Sports Madden NFL 26, Minecraft, Call of Duty Black Ops 7, Arc Raiders, Ghost of Yotei, MLB The Show 25, Call of Duty Black Ops 6, Ready or Not, EA Sports Football Club 26, Forza Horizon 5, NBA 2K 25, Oblivion Remastered, Assassin's Creed Shadows, Claire Obscure, Monster Hunter Wilds, and EA Sports Football Club 25. Do we want to go through the PS4 as well? We'll do that in a minute. Let's just talk about PS5 for right now. Dave, what stood out to you here? What was interesting? What was not surprising, etc.?
I think the biggest surprise for me personally was that Monster Hunter Wilds was so far down the list. I think it was like number 19. I think considering how early in the year that came out, I thought it would have had time to amass a much bigger number. So yeah, I was surprised to see that. The other thing, college football beating out Madden just by one spot, but man, people are hungry for college football. I know it's the second or third year that college football has been back, NCAA. But I wonder if that sort of suggests some fatigue with Madden and how much of that is being cannibalized over. The other
We
thing
also don't know how much money separated the two.
Yeah, that's
Could
true.
have been $1.
The other thing that's funny is there are as many Microsoft first-party titles on that list as there is Sony first-party titles, and you have to go to position number 9 before you find a Sony first-party title. So I think for Sony first-party, it was kind of a down year, but that's okay, I guess. We know
It's clearly okay for their pocketbooks.
Yeah, exactly.
They spend no time other than maybe a little marketing on NBA 2K26, and it makes them a ton.
Yeah, really. But yeah, and so you've got Ghost of Yotei and MLB The Show, which that's a licensed game, so I assume they're not making as much from that, per unit as they would from a purely first-party game. But But yeah, it's funny to see Forza on there. It will always be funny to see that. So you've got Forza and Elder Scrolls also on the list from Microsoft first party.
Minecraft.
Yeah. Oh, Minecraft. Yeah. So there's three. There's more Microsoft first party on there than Sony. But
And Call of Duty.
yeah.
Yeah. That's Microsoft now too.
The other one thing I have to mention is this is just the show of Dave correction. So before Battlefield 6 and Call of Duty came out, I made the prediction that despite the hype around Battlefield and the bidness around Call of Duty this year, that Call of Duty would still outsell Battlefield, and all indications point to me being wrong for at least the last half of last year. So I was
Yeah.
wrong again.
Brandon, what do you make of this list?
Dude, my biggest surprise here is Ready or Not. Congratulations to Void Interactive. An amazing game by all standards. Not a new game, but the fact that they're on this list at all for the size and pedigree of their studio, and this isn't me downplaying them, but the fact that they're up here with some huge, absolutely massive titles is really cool. People have loved this game for a long time, and clearly it shows because when it came to console, people bought it in droves, apparently. So that's really surprising to me, and I'm happy because I love the game and I think it deserves it. So everything else is not too surprising to me. I mean, obviously we got some big boys up here, and that's not really a shock. Love to see Arc Raiders. Love to see it up there, unsurprisingly.
With only 2 months of sales.
And that's something that I was going to say is just that we can't, I don't want to say this. We have to take that into account when we look at this list and how impressive that sort of feat is to be as high on the list as it is after a couple months of sales. So I glaze this game all the time, and I'm going to continue to glaze it. So yeah, really proud of these guys. And yeah, everything else is pretty standard to me. It is interesting what Dave said about the whole Microsoft thing, but I think this is good. I think everybody wins. We've talked about that before. I think not only do consumers win, but Sony gets a cut of the pie, and Microsoft gets more people into their ecosystem, into their games, their software, period. So yeah, I love to see it, man. I truly do. I think this is a great time to be a gamer, and to see that Microsoft is doing this is clearly lucrative for everybody. So maybe after Sony reports on this sort of thing, maybe we'll start to and continue to see some more cross-pollination. I would love that. They seem to be a little bit not really tight-lipped, but like they seem to keep the IP a little bit less loosey-goosey, probably for a good reason, but hopefully numbers like this might sway their decisions moving forward, and I would really love that as well.
A couple interesting takeaways from the EU version of this list. On the US-Canada list, EA Sports Football Club 25 is number 20, which, by the way, still means they made a pile of money, just to be clear. But on the EU list, that's 26. Maybe I'm wrong here entirely. Okay, so EA Sports FC 26 was like number 15-ish on the US list. It was number 1 on the EU list. Other games that appeared on EU that did not appear on US would include Split Fiction, Hogwarts Legacy, UFC 5, I think. UFC 5. It Takes Two was on there. Rematch, and F1 25, which makes sense for the sports games. They're all more European-centric or beloved than our football games would be here to take those spots. But I did think it was interesting seeing Split Fiction, It Takes Two on there. Those are really cool, interesting. My God. Any other takeaways you guys saw there, or do you want to go into the PS4 list real quick?
Just one other thing. F125 charted in Europe, and I imagine to chart even in Europe. It was in the very last spot. But EA just announced that game was going to move off of annual releases. And I think when we read that news, we kind of assumed that, okay, maybe sales were slowing down a bit. But to be the 20th best-selling game on the console that has the biggest install base in all of continental Europe. That's surprising that they've made that move. I'm not mad about it, but it's still it's interesting to see it on there. So
Yeah, I still think that's a smart move for them to do, especially if they know that like fatigue game, yearly release fatigue is real, and if they can continue to churn this out and maybe get people to buy it because they know it'll be around for 2 years, and then they're like, oh, you know what? Well, maybe I'll pick up this DLC too while I'm at it. They probably are hedging a good bet there that they'll end up making as much or more on some additional content for an existing game than making a whole new game. So I could be totally wrong there. It might be because they were zapped and had no ideas. I don't know. The PS4 list is really interesting because, well, not everything comes out on PS4. So the list in the US and Canada, again, for PS4, Red Dead Redemption 2, interesting. Star Wars Battlefront 2, Batman Arkham Knight. Isn't that a VR only game?
No.
Oh, I'm thinking of a different game.
Yeah.
Minecraft, Grand Theft Auto 5, A Way Out, Need for Speed Heat, Mortal Kombat X, The Hunter Call of the Wild, The Forest, interesting, Gang Beast, which, by the way, that game is still making a pile of money. I just saw a report on it the other day. Call of Duty Black Ops 3, Kingdom Come Deliverance, the first one, Middle Earth Shadow of War, Stardew Valley, Black Ops 6, Unravel 2, God of War, Overcooked 2, and Injustice 2. Just an interesting list in general. I don't know if there's any learnings to take from there, but I'm sure the PS4 continues to rake in cash, despite most of us not thinking about it from day to day.
it's weird that Black Ops 3 is outselling Black Ops 6.
Well, we don't know that it's outselling necessarily. It's just higher on the chart. The scales could be different. Like Red Dead Redemption 2 and NBA 2K26 didn't sell the same amount of copies. They're just both number one in their respective consoles.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's weird to me that Black Ops 3 on PS4 in US and Canada is outselling Black Ops 6 on PS4.
I mean, it's just a better game, so it's just something that is noteworthy to me, and I love to see from IP that has particularly struggled. The fact that they're getting some love on this list, even if it's not the current generation, we see two WB properties here: Injustice 2 and Mortal Kombat X. I want to give a big shout out to NetherRealms. Even though this last iteration didn't hit for a lot of people, and I felt like they did a lot wrong, I love to see that they're still making money because I don't want these franchises to go anywhere, and I think they are genuinely good at what they do. They had a bad year. Mortal Kombat is the best Mortal Kombat that's come out in the past decade, in my opinion, and I'm glad to see that it's near the top. In addition to that, Need for Speed Heat, another studio that has kind of put their games or this specific IP on the back burner for other stuff. I love to see that Need for Speed is still selling as well, because that's another series that there has not been an IP in my life that I've played more than Need for Speed since the beginning of my gaming journey. I have more Need for Speed games on any of my consoles than any game combined. That's my shit. And so it's not been getting the love lately. And I thought that Need for Speed Heat was a fine game. Definitely not their best by a long shot, but the fact that it is higher on the list here actually makes me very happy.
Cool. Let's move on. GamesIndustry.biz, again, we'll be going back to them. Rockstar launches official marketplace for mods. They have launched an official marketplace for every server and every player to buy mods called the CFX Marketplace. They announced the acquisition of CFX RE, a Grand Theft Auto 5 and Red Dead Redemption 2 modding team back in 2023. We talked about it on this very show. CFX.RE is behind two servers, FiveM and RedM, focusing on multiplayer roleplay. FiveM was created in 2015 and RedM in 2019. Back in 2015, Rockstar Games and partner company Take-Two called the FiveM server an unauthorized alternate multiplayer server that contains code to facilitate piracy, leading to the ban of 3 of its principal creators. However, the developer's policy for roleplay servers changed in November 22, allowing the use of servers like FiveM and RedM so long as they are non-commercial, do not misuse IP or trademarks, and don't interfere with its official online and multiplayer services. This new curated digital storefront now hopes to give creators a place to share and sell their work, such as props, scripts, maps, and much more. For launch, the team has partnered with a curated list of creators, which Rockstar says it worked with while building the marketplace. Some of the listed mods are free, while bundles can cost several $100s. This is pretty cool that this has finally happened. I mean, these guys started out by being an unauthorized group of people who some of them got banned, and now they are like literally owned by Rockstar and making money on their behalf. I think that's a cool 360, no 180 from where they were. Brandon, what do you think about this? And obviously comment on whatever else about Red Dead and Rockstar and everything.
Yeah, I mean, the cultural phenomenon that is Rockstar Games RP cannot be understated. It's huge, and to see that Rockstar is acknowledging this in a positive way is really big for the RP community as a whole. What I'm happy about as someone who has used these RP softwares and these services is that I really hope this continues to hone the user experience, because my experience was very bad playing them. In fact, people make whole careers on these RP servers, whether it be content, whether it be streaming, and I found it to be a very interesting and unoptimized experience. So, yeah, I think this is great, and this is how companies should handle this thing moving forward. If it's not directly cutting into their profits, it's kind of expanding the ecosystem, then I think they should lend a olive branch to these people that are clearly talented and clearly have a passion for something that could add to their IP.
Davey?
Yeah, I've kind of been outspoken in the past where I've said just because you own a game doesn't give you the right to mod it in any way. And I think we've talked about Capcom in the past being very mod averse. But I do really like to see when developers and publishers can really come together with the mod community to breathe new life into their games. Obviously, we've seen this with Bethesda for years. So, yeah, I think this is cool. I think the only marketplace that could sell more than this in mods is if there was a marketplace for Stellar Blade on PC. But I do wonder how this is going to evolve when what I assume. Have we heard what we're going to get from GTA Online when GTA 6 comes out?
No.
I wonder if it's going to like do like a Warzone type transition, or it's going to be interesting to see how that world, which is massive, as we all know, changes with the launch of the new game. I'm sure it'll be like staggered and we won't see it next year, but
Well, I don't think one of the biggest things about GTA Online right now is the RP community. And that's not how they're making the majority of Rockstar's making the majority of their money, or any of it, because that's not directly related to them. They're making a ton of money just on their online, but with the absence of PC being at launch, there will be a long way forward before we will get this sort of information or this sort of RP scenarios moving forward with 6, because
yeah.
the exclusion of PC is the entire point and the entire way to do this. So there will be a point in time when, you know, this sort of thing does come back up, but I think we'll have a lot of information prior to that happening based off of console information. So
Right.
That's the end of the news. You guys want to talk about some resolutions, but do we want to talk about what we've been playing first, or wait till later?
I don't really have anything interesting to say, to be honest with you. So, I mean, whatever you guys want to do.
Well, let's just
Yeah.
go through it real quick then. Dave,
What we've been playing?
you're about to say, yeah, what we've been playing.
Yeah, so I've only been playing Arc Raiders. I was on the show last week, but I can kind of give a quick update. I love this game and I hate it, and I think its defining feature is also its biggest flaw.
One of us.
Where I have games where I just like, you know, because of player behavior, it's just like fuck this game. Like, it's not fair. It just isn't fair. but then you go in and you meet another person who's the nicest, player in the world, and it's just like I cannot turn my back on this community. So it's just and now I'm in Reddit and my life is ending and it's toxic and I hate everything and da 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 da, and it's I don't know, this game has kind of taken over my psyche, and it's I don't know, it's crazy. I never expected how much of an impact this game was going to have on me. And I haven't even put 40 hours into it yet. So it's I get it, is what I'll say. I get it big time.
Yeah.
And I also understand, like, it took me a long time to wrap my head around the whole wipe expedition thing, but I completely understand it now, sort of starting from scratch. But I never understood, like, the narrative setup of, like, you're packing up all this stuff so your raider can leave and then you start a new one and all that. So I thought that was a really cool approach to keeping the game fresh for people who had a lot of time in it. But yeah, it's and now, I've been watching Arc Raiders on Twitch since day one, but now watching it on Twitch is a whole new meaning because I actually know what's going on. But yeah, and you guys have, playing with you guys just gives my ABMM AIDS every time. So it takes like a full day for me to get back to the lobbies I want to get into after playing with you guys. But
Dave,
yeah,
I gotta say, there's been a couple times I've played with you, and the reason I was aggressive is because you prodded me to be. I actually in this game I actually default to passive. Like Sea of Thieves, my buddy Justin always, like, he actually quit playing with me, maybe not entirely because of this, but part of it was because I just wanted to fight everybody I saw. In this game, like, I really only want to fight if I really have to, or really, really know that they have some good loot on them.
right.
And there were a few times where I've been playing with you where you were like, "Are we gonna kill him?" I'm like, "Yeah, we're gonna. I guess we'll kill him."
Are
Why
we
not?
doing this?
Yeah, are we? That yeah, those are Dave's famous words. Are we doing this?
Yeah. But yeah, and I have another buddy I've been playing with, and he doesn't want to fight anyone, and he's probably got 20 hours in the game, and he just finally got his first time where he got killed by another character, so he's probably rage quit. But no, it's
You mean Duncan, right?
Yeah, yeah.
It's so fun. The first, like, literally his first match, he was terrified to go in.
He still is.
Yeah.
Like, but he's really gotten into a groove, and it's been, he was someone I was like, are you interested in this game? And I think he bought it without really knowing what it was.
Yeah.
So when he first played it, I'm like, he's not touching this game again. But he's been loving it. He plays solo, and I don't think he's left the dam, but he loves it. But yeah, it's again, it's there's not a whole lot of variety in the stuff you're doing, but somehow the experience is always different. So yeah, thanks. And thanks to you guys for the carries and teaching me how to play the game, because there is a lot to learn.
Yeah,
Sure.
it really is. I still feel like I'm learning stuff after. Let me look. According to Steam, 221 hours.
Yeah, I have like 250.
Yeah. I'm sure not all of that's topside, obviously, but plenty of it is. Brandon, you said you didn't really have anything new to say about it. I kind of don't either. Just still playing and chugging away, basically. Still been playing a little bit of Star Rupture. Learning a little bit more that my bases need to be modular rather than all in one in order to not have big congestion. I have slowed down on a good bit because, like, I reached the end of what you could, like, the new stuff that you could do in early access until they do an update. And I think I'm going to wait for an update before I really dive too much more in. There's still a couple of little things I want to do here and there. There's still a couple blueprints I need to go get. I'm just going to look them up because everything's going to change by the time it comes out in 1.0 anyway. So that's okay. But and then the other thing, I finally dove into The Witcher 3. It's only, it's been a few years since it came out. I've never played it before. And I just decided I have wanted to play it for a long time and just never have because I know it's such a daunting, gigantic game. So I got it downloaded and then promptly went and downloaded a giant mod pack for like so many things. It was like 22 gigs worth of mods, all in one package, but like installed it. So, different textures, better textures, 4K stuff, as well as some like quality of life stuff, weight carry, all that kind of stuff. So I'm not playing this game vanilla the first time by any means, and I probably never will because of that. So, but I'm having a good time. I'm only about 6-7 hours in, something like that. Having a great time. I love games like this, and I knew I would like it if I played it. It's just a matter of like it's so big. But I'm mostly only doing main storyline unless I need to grind for something, because I know myself and I know that if I go and try to do every little thing, I will never get to the end of the story.
Right.
I've also got the DLCs and everything, so I don't. If I get through this, which is a big if for me. I'm just gonna be real with myself. I don't often finish giant RPGs. Like that's just me. But if I get through it and through the DLCs, and I want to go back and do some side quests, I can. But I'm not getting bogged down on them. That's my goal. So I will keep you informed. I'll probably be playing this for a couple hours a week for the next several months. But yeah, it's one of those games I've just never played, and I'm playing it now. So
Yeah, I saw something today that they have a working multiplayer mode modded into this now.
I saw that today, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if that works with my other mods, but
It's pretty cool.
so to be clear, I went to what's the name of that, Nexus Mods or whatever,
Yeah,
and I
Nexus,
just looked
yeah.
for the collections, and I downloaded like the top rated collection. And so somebody in Derek in chat said, "Can't believe Ben downloaded the mod that lets him romance both Triss and Yen instead of picking." First of all, I don't even know what that means. I mean, I know what it literally means. I don't even know those characters very well yet. But what I will say is I have no idea if that mod's in there. It might be.
Dude,
Yennefer all the way.
Yen is
for the
canon.
record.
Yen
Yeah.
is canon, but Triss is better. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yen
I mean,
is
obviously,
canon.
I've heard
but
the
Triss is
names
better.
and seen the
You have to
characters
say
for
that.
years.
For the
But
race of your people, you have to say that.
Also, Ben's probably going to be, what's that other lady? The one that's got her titties out and she's like a,
The blind woman?
no, the blonde.
the witch,
Yeah.
What's her name?
Kira. Maybe there's another one. I mean, I'm only to the like 6 hours in, like I said. So
It's been a minute, but yeah, Triss all the way. Triss
why
Marigold.
why
is
would you
bae.
say I'm going to be that one? Like what? Why?
I don't know, because I like to give you shit.
Oh, is that a bad thing? Is she bad?
No, it just
Okay.
it just there's two like really good choices, and she wouldn't be one of them for most people. But
Gotcha. Grief says Kira Metz.
Kira Metz, yeah, Ben's a Kira Metz apologist, I would imagine, but
She's kind of annoying.
she's kind of hot. She's kind of yeah.
I mean, granted, she's the only character I've really spent much time with, but like the whole time I was with her, she wouldn't stop talking, and I was trying to like figure out how to solve a puzzle or something, and she's talking to me. Not about the puzzle either, just in general.
Hmm.
Boys, it's time to go through some resolutions. Now I have an announcement. I decided this year, at least for right now, maybe I'll change my mind later, that I didn't want to do any resolutions or any goals or challenges or whatever you reprobates want to call them out there. I thought for like the last month about this, about what I wanted to do, and the reality is I just I'm really happy with not having gaming goals.
Maybe that's your resolution, is to play whatever the hell you want.
I already do that.
There you go.
Oh, there you go. That's my resolution, and I bet I'll accomplish it.
I came up with mine today, dude. You could do it,
It's not a matter of coming up with them.
but it is.
Okay, but well, let's go through them, and I'll tell you. Like, I don't want to do anything. Like, I just want to play what I want to play. That's it. That's all I want to do with games right now.
Play 250 more hours of Arc Raiders. See, look, there you go. There you go.
Do you think you could do that?
Yeah, easily.
Probably. But what if Marathon
Easily.
comes out and I get sucked into it and I want to play it more? I don't want to go back to Arc Raiders just because I have this challenge if I don't want to play it.
Well, just cover your bases: 100 hours of Arc Raiders and 100 hours of Marathon.
What if I
Then you're-
hate Marathon?
Well, then 100. Make your third 100 hours of anything else.
But then he still has to do 100 hours of marathon.
Right. Yeah.
Well, look, you can't win them all.
Anyway, so maybe I'll change my mind later and I reserve the right to come in at a later date, but I have no real interest in like challenging myself to do something because I'm pretty happy with where I'm at gaming wise. But that doesn't mean you have to be. And that by you, I mean Brandon and Dave as well as the audience. But I'll take some notes here for you guys. Resolutions. This might also allow me to be a better arbitrator since I don't have anything on the line here. You know? Dave, let's go through your first resolution.
Sure. So, I have over the years developed a bit of a backlog, like any self-respecting gamer would.
You know how to solve that. You just play what you want to play.
So that's the thing is I've wanted to knock off some of these games from my backlog for a long time. And this isn't just any backlog that I'm talking about. It's specifically a AAA Sony backlog. There's been a number of games, especially this generation, that have come out that I just haven't played. I've wanted to, but just haven't at the time. Something else has come out, and they just kind of fade into my backlog. And I don't own them, so I don't know if they're technically part of a backlog. But I would like to play 2 games with a stretch goal of 3 from my backlog of Sony first-party games, and I'll just give a quick list of what those are. So it can be any 2 of these games, and a third is a stretch goal. Ghost of Yotei, Spider-Man 2, Ragnarok, and Returnal, and Ratchet and Clank Ripped Apart. Good thing is a lot of those are on PS Plus Extra.
I was going to say, you said you don't know if you own them. I think everything but Ghost of Yotei probably is.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
have a-
So
Dave says, I have a stretch goal of playing some of the best games ever made.
Oh, you mean like you the last 2 years?
That's why I'm making fun of him. That's why I'm making
that's
fun.
again, they're not challenges. They're just things that, I've wanted to do and haven't done. So
Spidey 2's mid.
Yeah.
sorry.
Spidey 2, Spider-Man 2 is mid as fuck.
There's been a running theme that I've heard from the sequels, and most of these are number 2s, where it's like they just don't have the magic of the first one. So I'm going into things like Ghost of Yotei, Spider-Man 2, and even Ragnarok with a bit of like, I'm not expecting to have the same fizzle that I did from the first. So
I
but-
really liked Ragnarok.
Did you? Okay.
And I especially love the story. Now, I don't know that I think it was better, but it definitely wasn't worse to me.
right.
Spidey 2, I still really enjoyed, but there were some major problems with it on my end. Ghost of Yotei, I have not finished, so I can't fully comment on it, but I got a little bored. But also, I got it like, the week Arc Raiders came out or something like that. So
Yeah.
it's not the game's fault, probably.
So yeah.
Ratchet
I
and
want
Clank
to
was great.
I want to play and complete. When I say complete, I mean roll credits, not platinum, not 100%, nothing like that.
Okay.
But yeah, I want to knock off 2 of those games with a stretch of a third. Sorry, there's another game I have to add to that list. It's not a Sony first party, but Red Dead Redemption 2.
Oh my
Let's
gosh.
go, baby.
Yeah. So I was a victim of the first 10 hours where I
Oh.
borrowed it from a buddy, and I was just like, I think the fact that it wasn't my own copy and I had to give it back, I was just like, I can't do this. So that's going to be in there too. So
Dude, that game, I just want to replay it so bad, but I just haven't.
It's so long.
It's so long. It's a very long game. I mean, it's probably 60 hours, which is a long game, but it's not like, Assassin's Creed Odyssey or anything.
It's like watching a really fancy, wonderful, impactful movie. You
That
don't want to do
entirely
it,
changes your life and reshapes your perspective about.
and that's
the
what I'm
media.
saying.
Yeah.
Like it's not that it's longer than some other things you played. As I just got done saying, I played 250 hours of Arc Raiders. It's just that you don't always have the capacity
Right.
to do that sort of thing at that sort of time.
Yeah. Or the attention span sometimes.
Exactly.
Brandon, let's go to your first one.
So I want to complete 3 Game Boy or Game Boy Advance games this year.
that's a cool one.
I have a Game Boy sitting around, and I was thinking about it. I have some old games. I plan on purchasing some more. It would be a wonderful reason. I've been outside of the handheld space in a long time, and I would love for the nostalgia factor of being able to go back. Now, I will include that I do have a Game Boy Advance, but I would be willing to extend this challenge to playing it on my DS as well, if it's a Game Boy game.
Sure. You could just get a Switch too and get the online, and then you could play all of them on there.
I refuse to do that. Doug
All right,
Bowser
complete.
can
And by
suck my dick.
complete, just for clarification later, you mean roll credits.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
The only thing I could think is I was considering one of those being a Pokemon game, and those kind of never end, but they do have credits.
They do have
I
credits.
think so.
You
I
can get to
okay.
the end of the story. You know what? If it's Pokemon, I'll let you decide if you finished it, and then you and God can live with that for the rest of your life.
Well, I mean, you usually just have to beat the like final
Dude,
set of.
spoilers for every Pokemon game ever. Come on.
Okay, all right.
Dave, back to you.
Are we doing 2 or 3?
It's up to you. It's your resolution.
Brandon Emery, or are you?
I'm gonna do 2 because my third one was probably just gonna be something that I did off the cuff, and I actually really like both of mine, so I'm gonna keep it with 2 strong ones this year because I actually genuinely want to do these 2 things really badly to kind of like expand my horizons a bit.
Okay. This one may seem kind of soft, but once again, these are resolutions, not challenges. So I had a child just over 2 years ago, and as things happen in your life when you have a child, your social life sort of, takes a back seat. But that's all changed now. She's 2, her life's over. So I want to play more with the boys.
Let's go, Arc
I,
Raiders, baby.
I make the excuse. I don't make an excuse. I'm genuinely in bed at 10 o'clock most nights, but I have a lot of fun playing with you guys and other people, and I need to make more of an effort to squad up and not what I
Squabble up.
want to play genuinely, but like whatever the boys are playing. One of my biggest regrets is I missed ripping SIGs and RV there yet with the boys. And those opportunities don't come along very often. So I don't know how to quantify or measure this one. Maybe we can talk about that when we get to punishments next week or whatever. But
Didn't you have the same resolution like 2 or 3 years ago?
yeah, but
And he failed.
But I was just thinking, I think you had some measurable goals there.
yeah.
Well, but here's the thing: like, you'll know in your heart if you've played more with the boys or not, because you'll just have that tingly feeling.
Mhm.
Maybe it's not. Maybe it's lower than your heart usually when you're with the boys, the tingly feeling. But you'll just know that you've done it more this year.
My
than
wife
last year.
left me, then we did it. I'll think about it and kind of see how I want to quantify that. But that's tricky to track. But
Yeah, I
you're
mean,
right.
and-
We'll just know, and maybe you guys can be the evaluators. Of
That is true.
Yeah.
I mean, play with the boys more. You've already played with the boys more this year than you did last year. At least these boys.
right.
Well, this is one of the reasons I don't like lean towards the resolutions thing is that I end up making a resolution that sounds really good to me in January, and by July I'm doing it because I have to, not because I want to. And so I think if you put an hours limit on it, you're gonna find yourself being like,
Yeah.
don't really want to play, but I gotta play. So so
I did
just
that with Gran Turismo, and
I think
loved
just
Gran
saying
Turismo,
like,
but didn't
yeah.
like that.
I think just saying like I want to make more of an effort to do this thing is sufficient. And you're pretty honest with yourself and with us. So if you don't feel like you did it, then you didn't do it.
And it's been clear to you guys and to the rest of the anybody who listens that of the 3 of us, I play multiplayer the least, and I don't include myself in playing as much. So yeah, that's my second one.
Also, Dave, there's always time to go back to RV there yet. We didn't finish it, and
We had one wonderful night with it.
yeah,
Very long, wonderful night with it, and that's all we got. So
I think it was a casualty of Battlefield 6 or Arc Raiders or something like that too. So
Right.
yeah. Brandon, your second one.
this one I'm actually pretty excited about. I like to take these resolutions as a chance to push myself towards something that I feel like I've either been slacking in, or a genre or subsect of games, or something that I feel like is kind of a blind spot of mine, or something that I want to achieve. And something that has never been my forte ever, but is very beloved by many of my peers as well as many of my friends, is Final Fantasy. So this year, I would like to complete Final Fantasy Part 1 and 2, as well as Final Fantasy 16.
You mean Final Fantasy
Remake.
7, 1 and 2?
Remake, yes. Remake.
So remake and rebirth.
Yes, sir. And 16.
If you need to borrow any of them, let me know.
I will. Yeah, because if I didn't have to buy them, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
I might have remake.
I mean, depends on where you want to play them. I think at least two, if not all three of those, are also in our Steam library.
Cool.
So
Playing on PC would be even better, honestly. So, but I
Cool.
did. I have started Final Fantasy VII Remake. I don't know. Maybe like 5 or 6 hours in, I really feel like I had a very slow start to it, so I don't feel like I got much of the game at all. But yeah, I feel like I haven't given this IP enough love over the years, and to a lot of people who love it, this would be like a very cringe way to go into it. I was talking to my barber about this earlier, and he's like a very much original guy. He doesn't like these remakes, and that's fine. You know, to each his own. Like a lot of my challenges, I play the newest versions of everything. And I just want to be happy to be playing the property itself and not really worry about any sort of gatekeeping here. So, yeah, I'm going to play the latest and greatest and kind of get my toes wet. I also played a little bit of 13. I rented 13 for about a week and enjoyed that. And I considered putting it in this list, but I think I'm going to stick to 3 games because I think this will genuinely be hard enough for me to do as is that I do want to push myself. I think 16 might be my favorite of all of them. So that's why I wanted to add it to this list of the 3
what do you
that
mean? What do you mean it's your favorite?
knowing how 16 is and having
Okay.
played the demo, I think I'm going to like 16 the best.
Yeah.
So I'm the most excited about that. In Final Fantasy Remake and Rebirth are me pushing myself to play these games, albeit even if they're different than the originals, getting into this IP in general. So
Brandon, I have a couple suggestions for you here. One, I think this is a great goal for you, and I think the 3 games that you picked out are perfect because knowing you very well and your video game play style, I think all 3 of these games are going to be great. Like honestly, I think if you played the original Final Fantasy, if you played the original Final Fantasy VII, you might get through it, but you would not enjoy it nearly as much as you will enjoy Remake, in my
Right.
opinion.
right.
I just know your play style well enough to know that that's probably the case. And then, of course, if you play that one, you got to play Rebirth.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
exactly.
And then 16, you're right. It is the least RPG of the RPGs. Not that you don't like RPGs, but you know what I mean. I think it's a great pick too, and it's a phenomenal game. It got a lot of like revisionist history after it came out, which I didn't really understand or appreciate. But I just looked for you, by the way, and Rebirth and 16 are on our Steam account, but not Remake. So maybe you buy it, maybe you borrow but like sometimes you want to play it on the same console you played. I don't know. It's up to you.
It was on PS Plus 1 month. Maybe you have it in your library.
That's kind of what I was thinking, but I also,
You don't have PS Plus though.
yeah, I don't. What is CD keys now? What did they rebrand to? Loaded?
Yeah.
That's such a stupid. Okay. So anyway, yeah, I will I'll be on the lookout here, but I am genuinely excited to kind of, yeah, I want to push myself a little bit. And I think it'll be good. So
And if you have the option, you should play Integrade. There's Final Fantasy VII Remake, and then there's the Integrade, which is like a DLC add-on. It introduces Yuffie, which is a character that is like a very beloved character in the original.
oh, okay, so I can get the whole Integrate right now on CD keys for $21 and it's $91 originally.
Yeah.
So I might just pick that up now.
Look on Steam too. They might be on sale right now. Who knows?
True. But yeah, I'm actually pretty excited. I did give some thought into it, even if it was just today, and I was actually very satisfied with what I came up with. So
One Zone Grief says she was not beloved. Okay, Grief. You may not have loved her, and she can be a little annoying, but she was a beloved character. Thank you very much.
okay, so Integrate full price right now is only $40. So
Yeah, why get that if you can get it for 21?
exactly.
Boys, are you gonna do you have punishments ready or not punishment?
don't.
No punishments.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. We should wait a week for that. That's traditionally what we've done.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. All right, cool. Well, there we have it. Just to recap that real quick, Dave is going to play and complete or roll. By that he means roll credits only on 2 games with a stretch goal of 3 between these specific games: Ghost of Yotei, Spidey 2, Ragnarok Returnal, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, Red Dead Redemption 2, and he also put Final Fantasy 16 on here, which is a great choice. And also, he wants to play with the boys more, and he'll go with the metrics his heart tells him. Brandon would like to roll credits on 3 Game Boy or Game Boy Advance games. They could also be on the DS if he so chooses. And then he also wants to complete Final Fantasy VII Remake and Rebirth plus Final Fantasy 16.
Yes, sir.
There we have it.
There it is.
Alrighty, boys. That's it. And that's it for the
it.
show.
That's all she wrote.
That's all she wrote. Don't forget, you can hang out with us on Discord, handsomephantom.com/Discord. You can also join us on Patreon for as little as $1 a month over at patreon.com/handsomephantom, where you can sign up, like I said, for as little as $1 a month to help support the show. Ad-free and early audio access to the show, and a warm feeling wherever you choose to have it, I suppose. All right, everybody. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you later.
Bye.